Hello. Hello, everybody. I guess we do music? I don't know. Man. Okay. What are we doing right now? I guess we're opening Obsidian. Hello, Obsidian. Welcome to this lovely day. And we make a daily note. And, what do we call it? Twitch stream. And we close you and we say, that's about what I got, right? So, ba-da-bum. If and then we make some music, royalty free. Let's try that. Alright, I'm feeling it. ARGP, why are you up? OMC juggle. Air ground plane. What are you doing? Might be from a while ago. I don't know. What else am I doing right now? I'm gonna configure this chat box a bit and have it clean. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to make it. I kind of want it to not fade away. Always show messages. What does that mean? Disable message animation. What does that mean? Oh, I see. That's the persistence. That is literally what I was looking for, but I don't actually want to do it right now. Boom. I'm excited about today because I think that this is the first day that we've got like what I consider to be a full pipeline together, which means that it spits out an animation that looks like pretty okay. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. How are we doing over here? Okay, so we got that thing. That thing just popped over there. Hello, Magician Gur. How are you? Oh, a restless boar. Hello, restless boar. I'm glad you're here, and I hope that your restlessness, manages itself. Hello, Mom. What am I doing right now? I'm trying to figure out. What the actual plan is. I've been like coding all day, and like I got it to like a good place that I'm happy about, but like I'm also just like wait, where am I? Who are you? Who are you people? You're internet people. You live on the internet, and we're glad you're here. Oh, interesting. I just discovered something. Um, well, this is only like kinda human interaction because it's like weirdly asymmetric. Yeah, thanks. Magician Gur, how's the media pipe integration going? It is going pretty well. We like to the point where it like kind of works, just like straight up works. The problem is it's not currently connected to the visualizer like well. There's like a little bit of like sort of fastidious work that I need to do to make that work, but I think we'll probably get started on that today. Because I've been doing a lot of work, like the coding I've been doing today is making it so every time you make a recording, this like the animation you see above me is the kind like it is produced. Thank you, Restless Boar, for your tireless algorithmic work, making sure that capitalism continues to thrive and function. And thank you, Dead Cat, for the if statement and the implicit assumption that I am, in fact, a human. I appreciate that. I also have a plan today, which I'm going to see how I feel about this, because like what I've been learning is that like when I'm on the stream and I'm talking to you guys, it's great, but like I never actually get anything done, which is fine. Like you don't need to get stuff done, but like sometimes I kind of want to. So I'm going to try to do like what is that? Does that work? How you doing? That one, yeah. So like a little timer thing where like when that's running, I like will mostly not be paying attention to chat. Not like entirely, but like kind of like an excuse for myself to like not, and then like every 20 minutes or whatever. We'll see if that works. I don't know. It might be weird. That's the goal, Restless Boar, is once we all get sucked into the Matrix here, we can stop like eating food and all that kind of gross stuff. Chewing on things. It's a weird move. Okay. Let's do this. Let's get that big enough to read for y'all yam types, and let's talk about the dev update. What are the dev updates? Ideally, this is the part I'm excited about. What I'm gonna try to do this week, what I was unsuccessful at doing last week, which was to like mocap myself, because I've been doing these like weekly developer updates, and like it's not always a lot to say, but like it's like consistency is important. And so what I'm gonna try to do this week, and again like tried and failed to do this last week, what I'm gonna try to do is like mocap myself while I'm doing the dev update. And then like when I post the video, it'll be like this, but like I think this video, like this sort of screen, will be replaced with like a mocap square or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. Hey Albert, I am doing well. How are you? How's your OpenPose study treating you? Are you learning stuff? Let's see. Oh, nice. Oh, hey, Sotomonte. Welcome here. So, Hodis, you completed that study quick, or I guess your data collection anyway. Was it? Were you doing like the video you posted on the Discord was like what's it called? It was like Olympic lifting, something or another. Is that what you're going for here, or was that just like for fun? When you were like Olympic lifting like a noodle. Qualysis and NAT files. You know. Oh wait, you're using Qualisys? I thought you said you were using OpenPose, or are you doing like a validation thing? Either way is fine. Yeah, I gotcha. I'd be happy to see that because people are like, actually, hi, Mom. You already said hi. You said hi 3 times, Mom. Nice to see you again. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely kind of on vibe here. Thinking about something similar at my gym. Yeah, I mean, it's doable. Should be doable. This one's getting to the point where I'm like, I've got a gym that I go to, and I've already talked to them a little bit about it. It's like, hey, can I just like bring this down there? For me, the biggest bottleneck now is that it requires pretty much like a PC tower, which is kind of annoying to like lug one of those around, which is fine. It's fine to have that, but it'd be better if it could work on a laptop, but that will take a little bit of finagling to make that work. Oh. Neon X Death? I know him. He's a musician. He should be rewarded for his submission. What's the submission? His Who's It? Wow. Look at this song. Yeah. I'm actually kind of like, so this semester we're going to be working on the sort of like the asynchronous recording pipeline of this, because oh yeah, real time, like no way. Like that's why this sort of iteration is sort of buffer based. Well, you got your exposure, and now everybody, you can listen to the dulcet sounds of Neon X Death, who has both subscribed and is also playing. You just gotta assume that he won't DMCA us. But no, yeah, like that's the reason why like this iteration is kind of like record the videos first and then reconstruct later, because if you're trying to do it in like pseudo real time, then you're gonna have trouble. Gnarly Whale, yes, currently yes. It does the job. It's sort of, most of my experience is in MATLAB, so Matplotlib, unsurprisingly, is like, you know, one of the most it is sort of familiar to me in my MATLAB experience. And as I'm getting sort of more and more familiar with it, I'm appreciating it more and more. But especially for this kind of like making this kind of animation. For other kinds of like what's the word? Like interactive or whatever. Oof. App designer, I don't even know what that is. MATLAB is one of those things that like everybody uses it a little bit different from everybody else. And I know that it has a bunch of, what is that? MATLAB app designer. Ah. Oh, interesting. That's pretty cool. I just kind of am not like, I don't know, like I'm really, the files are binary explode. That sounds right. Wix. I just realized why it's always been kind of a question mark in my head why Deep Lab Cut uses Wix for their GUI, considering like it's like, I don't know. And I think I just found the reason, because if you Google Python app designer, that's the first thing that pops up. I don't know. MATLAB no longer. MATLAB doesn't really align with my morality these days. I like it. It's very powerful. It got me where I am today. But like ultimately, I don't feel particularly. I don't love the idea of like training students to use MATLAB, considering that if you just train them to use Python, they'll be way more employable. on the assumption that they don't like stay in academia, which like probably most of them won't. But I don't know. That's cool. I'm happy to know about that MATLAB app designers though. Although I'm also happy to know that like it's bad and annoying. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like most labs are kind of like that. They have this huge sunk cost in using MATLAB, where that's all the skills and everyone knows blah blah blah, and no one wants to take the time to learn Python because the environment of academia doesn't really allow people to take that kind of time off. So everyone's like in this local maximum state where they're like, oh, I really want to use Python, but I can't take like the 3 or 4 months it would take to like learn Python. Which was where I was for a long time. And then there was a pandemic, so I had the opportunity to like learn stuff. Nice. We're also using Unity over here. Where are you at, Gnarly Will? Are you an academic human? But Unity though is C#, which is like a compiled language, so it's really not. Cool. Let's do some Link Lab. U of A. I'm guessing that means Arizona. No, it's Alberta. Ooh, little handos. Cool. I won't look up people because I don't want to dox you. It's like, but cool. Well, happy you're here. I'll show you some stuff in a second that you might enjoy. Okay, I'm gonna do dev update stuff when I'm gonna talk about. Okay. Well, I'll look. Yeah, I'm gonna focus here. Okay. So dev update. Hopefully, this is being mocapped. You're seeing a mocap. This as mocap. Alright, so that's I don't know. We'll see. Kinda finished visualizer. Octave is interesting. I haven't actually used it, but like I've tried it. Like I've taken some code. Like I published MATLAB code in a paper, and I made sure that it also works in Octave. But it's also kind of like, I don't know, just learn Python. It's way more powerful. Almost. I mean, it's designed to like be like coextensive, but hopefully you're seeing the results. Now? What else am I doing? Still moving towards alpha in the next month or so. Probably scaling back ambition there, because working with an experienced software dev to fix to rejigger, to refactor underlying code base. Woohoo! Raise hands? Hands? Raise. I don't even know if you can do that. Nah, I don't like it. Oh, you can. Sparkle. Huh? Okay. Hands? Where's the raised hands guy? What's the name of that guy? Raised? There we go. Strimmer. Mr. Strimmer. Is that me? Oh, I'm Strimmer. Hi, sorry, I wasn't looking at you. How you do? Oh, hey, Micon. How you doing? Welcome to this lovely day. That one's for that's a bit of fan service, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. Should make a roadmap. Finalizing roadmap before next week. See? I've been good. Been busy. The semester is starting again in a week or two, which is always kind of weird. So we'll see how that plays out. It's wild, man. Like, they're just like, all right, fully in person, back to teaching in person. You're not allowed any exemptions. And like, they even like sent a message like, don't mention COVID in your syllabus. It's like, what? Like what do you think is gonna happen, guys? So, anyways, I guess it'll be fun to see what the Delta variant's like. Yeah. It's fucking universities, man. It wasn't like a don't mention COVID, but it was like, hey, don't mention COVID. I don't know, dude. Like, this whole American universities. I don't know what it's like overseas, so I can't speak to that. I assume it's bad too, but American universities, oof. Oh, I'm gonna mention the fuck out of COVID. What they specifically said is don't put COVID policies in your syllabus, which I guess is actually that's a little more fair, because it's like they don't want professors like saying things that are counter to the university. But like the vibe there was like the vibe of the announcement is like I don't know. It's fun. Yeah, I'm giving lectures in person again. Lecturing in a mask, hoping for the best. Which will be interesting, because the last time I taught an in-person class, the topic of the lecture was, hey, COVID is real, you should probably all go home. So it'll be fun to I don't know, man. Okay. Evan Poliquin. From your mouth to God's ears, man. I don't have a COVID policy, man. Like, I'm just like, do your, like, bleh. But Evan, man, like, I feel you. And, like, I'm not going to talk in detail about this on this stream, but just so you know, I hear you. And, stay tuned. I don't know. For a long time. I don't have a COVID policy. I don't fucking care. It's like, fine. I'm just going to teach this class with a mask on and hope that the Delta variant doesn't. I don't know. I at this point it's kind of like, okay, like, I guess we're just going to get sick, huh? Okay. Anyway. Let's see here. So, yeah, America's a dystopia. Corpo cyberpunk dystopian. Yeah, I mean, I don't have kids, but like, a lot of professors are like, what are you guys trying to get us to do? Like, you know that these students aren't going to be distancing, so like, I'm happy that you got coverage, Mordreser. I don't know. The world, man. Oh no. I saw some people do it. Like, I can't watch those videos because it's always like, oh, let's watch this person like have like a potentially catastrophic injury. But like, yeah, I mean, the physics of it, I'm sure, are very interesting, because you're basically like, you're going up a longer and longer lever arm, and so like, you know, your postural sway will have like more and more of an effect. So like, by the time you get up to the top, you have such a long lever that if like your center of mass goes outside of that little base, you're done, and like there's nothing you can do, and you'll always fail catastrophically. Yeah, actually, I'm not sure what we also have to do like masks and tests. I'm not sure what the frequency is. I forgot. I think it might be just once a week or maybe two. I can't remember. So like they're doing what they do. It's fine. I don't want to talk about my university anymore. Let's talk about mocap. Oh, okay. So we're going to push F5 here. Oh no, not that. Because we're going to try to mocap this. We're going to do this whole thing. We're going to mocap it. And let's see if we can be quick about this. I'm going to try to keep this one under a minute. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. I might be able to do that. We'll see. Because if we do like a full 2 minutes, which is what I've been doing, it'll take forever to open post. Because we still like. I think we might have MediaPipe running by next week. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. That'd be a good goal. We'll see. I won't say that out loud. I'll just think it in my heart. In my brain heart. The heart of my brain. In the brain of my heart. Oh, right. I also got to be like back here for this. Alright, I'm going to lift y'all up. You're over there. And you're up there. And you're up there. Okay. Now I'm short. Submit. I'll be short. I'll get tall again later, don't worry. This is for the gram, as they say. Alright. Because I would like to not be floating arms. I'm going to have it. I wanted to see my legs, which is going to make you have to tilt down a bit. You can see my messy desk, but that's okay. You can see right here. Yikes. Man, Skull merch. I don't know, Neon X Death. When is Skull merch gonna happen? I don't know. You don't know that, but like, the world wants skulls. The girl wants free mocap. The world wants free mocap skulls. Yo, one of my students actually made me a free mocap mouse pad, which I don't have here, unfortunately. It's in my office, but it's great. I love it. It's a great logo that was made by a professional logo maker that I know professionally. Same person that designed the website, which is also good. johnmathis.com/various things. That's too many leg. There ain't that many leg. Okay. Can you hear me back there? Hello? Can you hear me? Can I get a quick mic check? Mic check. Yeah? Huh? Sweet, thank you. I'm gonna be back here for the dev thing because I wanted to see my legs enough to like reconstruct. I wanted to get that out of the way. Where are you gonna be? You gonna be here? That should be good. It is so hot in Boston, I tell you. That looks good. I'm gonna read that. I'm gonna try to keep it under 60 seconds, and we'll see how that goes. Actually, this one, where am I? This one's a little too on the desk. Hell yeah, I love that. I hope we get to see that future together. Relentless, restless boar. I also exciting. My student that does animation. Yeah, like a Suzanne skull. Relentless. You're restless because you don't know how to relent. But the student that I have in my lab that is the resident animator person is returning from a 6-month co-op with fancy EA, Lucasfilm, stuff like that. So they should release that. In the fullness of time. It's an SVG, so the full res. Is it in? It will be a part of the repository as soon as I figure out how to make that happen. But yeah, SVG available. Okay, how are we here? You are a little bit low. Still a little bit low. What are you doing? Okay. I feel weird wearing shorts on video. Oh yeah, my so I had a student that was working with me sort of in the very early stages of this. And she went off, she's an animation person. She was the first person to start exploring Blender and stuff like that. And she has been away for since basically last year doing co-op stuff, but she's coming back, which is exciting because I think that she'll be the one to kind of start up the Blender sort of animation tie-in stuff of this, because I haven't really been focusing on that because it's not really been the time, and that time because it doesn't really make sense to work on that because that's kind of on the output side of this thing. So we've been focusing on the underlying mechanics. So the timing kind of works out that as the underlying sort of pure Python core of this is getting sort of more robust and reliable, the person that I know that can do animation stuff is coming back to get to work, so fingers crossed that that works out well. I'm confident. I think it will. Okay. Dev update. We have to be around here. Oh, right. So I'm going to do this, that. TK. Oh, that's not what I want. This is going to be, I'm going to call that dev update. Oh, and if I hit proceed now, then it'll start recording. Also the calibration method is more, it's more chill now. It's now viable. I should put that actually in there. Calibration method more chill now. It used to be kind of not chill. Now it's more chill. Can be done with 8 with standard printed out Charuco board. Okay, let's see here. So, all right, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I will do, because I have to record, I think I'll push record on this first, and then I'll push record on this. Yeah, is that right? Which one do I record? So I'll record, I think I'll let them, no, I'll do the record here. I'll record here, then record there. Record free mocap, record stream, end free mocap, end stream. Yes, that's the order. Okay, ready? And go, and I think this should work. This should work. Yeah? Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. This is the weekly dev update. If it's working well, you might actually be seeing like an animation thing here, there. 100% not real time, very much post-processed, but if it's there, that's very exciting. Quick update on stuff. I kind of finished the visualizer of the output of this, which is hopefully what you're seeing over here. Where am I on the screen? I'm over here. And the calibration method is more chill now. As you notice, it can kind of work with like a regular printout rather than like the big stuff from the video above. And we're still moving towards an alpha release in the next month or 3. And unclear what we're actually going to wind up doing with that, but I think it's going to kind of wind up being scaled down somewhat in ambition because I've been adopted by a more experienced software developer who's taken an interest in this project and is going to be helping out doing a sort of refactor of the underlying code, which I think is ultimately going to be very good. But I think I'm going to try to get the alpha out there so there's something usable by the general population. And then we'll start working on the refactor, which I think will hopefully be able to build towards very cool stuff in the future. So thank you. You're the best. Mwah. Oh, and close you. Wait, no, close you. And now I close you. Bye. Oh yeah. Thanks, Albert. I appreciate that. That was pretty long, but we'll see. We'll get it. It's my AC. I was wondering if you guys could hear that. It is unfortunately not optional right now, unless you want to see me like start sweating. It's hotter in Boston than it should be right now. It's in the mid 90s, which is like mid to upper 30s in Celsius. I don't really know. I'm gonna bring y'all down now. Get down here. Okay. All right. I hope. So hopefully that worked. Oh. Video RTX voice. Interesting. How do I do NVIDIA RTX voice? Oh, does it? Am I just not doing it right? Voice download NVIDIA broadcast. Oh man, come on. Why? Why are you being like that? God damn it. All right. We might wind up doing that again, because this is annoying. Why didn't you... First of all... Yeah, it's a AnyPose problem. It had a... It's something to do with the detection of this. We're gonna get to the bottom of this, y'all, because that should have worked. 39 words detected, 79, 112. Okay. Wait, why are you doing so many things? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Why did you do that twice? Maybe. I thought about that, but it should be okay. Like, based on my understanding, that shouldn't be a problem. But I'm going to see, like, right now, because I changed this code, like, earlier today. But let's see here. I'm curious now as to why it detected the boards twice. So let's do this. First things first. We're going to go up to VS Code. We're going to change the launch. And we're going to say just my code equals false. And that will that'll allow it to do like a break in code that I didn't write. So it will fail in any pose somewhere, and hopefully be in an informative way. I need to have a conversation. The AnyPose guy is on, like the guy who coded this mostly. It almost certainly did see a reflection, but like it probably got glare. But again, it should be robust against that. Okay, let's just see this. Okay, let's start here. Start at stage 3, and then run. It'll fail again, and hopefully, when it does, it will be informative. See, so that should be all it does. See, why is it doing it again? That's the question. Does it load in twice because of the debugging code you had written up? I don't think so. Okay, yeah. Item pop, Q. Yeah, so I wonder if I can just, this is in their code, because this happens a lot. You had oh, Aaron, you are, is this where is that? Where is that happening? Line of this one? Wait, why did I type 53? 50. Am I here? 52. No, this isn't right. It's in calibrate. Yeah, calibrate. Where are you? Calibrate. I changed some of this code earlier today. Our calibrate.py function. This part. Get rows videos, get camera size, set camera size videos. When you do that, when I do this, it runs get rows videos. So do I need this? Can I just comment that out? Can I comment this out? Like this part? Does this need to be here? I mean, this is... Oh! Right, because this is part of the debug. I'm still not sure if this is going to work, because I have a suspicion. I have a sneaking suspicion about why this is going wrong. Which is, what is my sneaking suspicion? Yeah, well, let's run it again anyway. Hey, hush. Something is returning as like a none, like something is getting nothing. Yeah, yeah, okay. So I can get rid of that at least. Actually, I guess I can put that in here. Yeah. If new, not in explored. None type is not subscriptable. Yeah. So, alright, where are we here? Call stack. Find calibration failures, get initial extrinsics, calibrate rows. So RTVex, are you empty? How empty are you? That'll probably do it. I think that's what it was, because if you looking at this in the RTVex, camera 1 doesn't have anything. But I thought I did the like thing, but okay. Let's just record that again. What do you say? That was a nice little dry run. It was too long anyway. So let's dang it, Mycon. I said more chill, not like most chill. It is more chill. Chillness is a journey, not a destination. Okay. It's probably because of the AC. I am going to turn the AC off for the dev update. Chillness is a spectrum. Is that better? Do you hear the absence of sound now? Okay, yeah. Cool. We'll work on audio. I know we were talking about audio until this thing failed, but okay. We will what was I saying? We're gonna get this thing recorded and then we'll work on the audio. Hopefully, because it's gonna take a long time to process anyways, if it works. I could also reprint this. It's not that bad. Do you want to make the link? No, so I actually already fixed. I changed that. So it's set right now that if you cal video frame length. That's actually not a great name for it. If you set that to -1, it just processes the entire video, which actually doesn't take very long. And AnyPose is set up to do that, so like that might actually be like the easiest default. Like just like let it run through the whole thing, and see how many Taroko boards it can find. Like, this is all stuff like this code is that's like less than like 2 or 3 hours old. So I'll push that later today to the develop branch of the repository. Okay, focus. What am I doing? Run, friendo. Run. Run. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? What? That's... Come on. Where are you... What'd you... I bunked something up. I think one of those... Like, I put an error somewhere. What'd I do? What's wrong, buddy? I did this. I definitely did screw that up. What is... Dang it. Let's see. Let's see if that works. Unindent does not match outer indent. I think... Listen to this great Scott Pilgrim remix. Okay, that worked. What was the order? Yeah, awesome. Our lead software developer, old Ron C96, has a very nice, very nice, fancy new computer. I don't think so. Did I say her name? I think I said Aaron, who is another person. I mean, you're developing the software, buddy. You are an open source software developer, whether you like it or not, because you have developed an open source software. So put that on your resume and smoke it. Don't smoke your resume. Submit. Okay, how are we doing here? I think we stand back here. And we should, like, I guess I can do like this. Because then it'll, like, I'll try to take my time with it a little more. So I was gonna do, I think I can probably do both. Well, okay. Record here. No, yeah. Doom 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 ba-doom. Okay. Record here. Record here, and I'll talk over this. I think that makes sense. I'll try to be like mindful. I wasn't mindful last time is the problem. Oh, also I need to move this out because I'm going to be on this side of the world. Oh no. Oh shoot, I forget. Yeah. Dang it. I moved this camera, so now I don't know if it's pointing in the right direction. Let's quit. Currently. And we really got to have something to like re-loop. Restart the setup phase. That would be really great. Okay, guys. This one's for all the marbles. Not because there's anything riding on it, but because I don't really want to do another one. Okay, so it's this guy. That's the problem. That's a really good point, Aaron. I'll consider that. I'll put it in the instructions. On this end, we highly recommend that you never make mistakes. Believe in yourself. Why is this one always so dark? Oh, it's because of the... That should be good. I know, this is actually part of what I'm sort of realizing now is like software, like big tech is like so many developers, and like it would make sense because you can have like teams of people working on minor components, and that's how you get polished software. Otherwise, it's just like, good lord. Exactly. Okay. So that's where we're doing. We're over here, looking good. Don't want to block with that, so that should be good. Where are you? Are you this one? You should be fine. You can be higher though. Can you be higher? Or is that as high as you go? Be as high as you go. I'll put you here. No, I don't want to do that. Commemoras, y'all, I tell ya. Okay, that should be fun. So it's gonna be... So I end this. I feel that's comfortable. close you down. Prepare for run. Dev update. Take 2. No, let's call it dev update. It's a different name anyway. I'll probably wind up just deleting the other one. So, thank you, robot. It is all right. It's all okay. So I'm gonna hit record here, and record there, and then yeah, that should be good. Okay, and ready and okay, and 1, 2. Okay, so record you and record you, and all right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this dev update on whatever day this is. Hopefully, if this is working well, you might be actually seeing like a 3D reconstruction of this, but like it's very much not real time over here, over there, there. Very much not real time, very much post-processed, maybe not even work, who knows. I've more or less finished the visualizer, which is what you're looking at over there, hopefully. And the calibration method might work now, that with like a printout instead of like a big board. And we're still moving towards an alpha-ish release in the next month or 3, but we're probably going to be kind of scaling back some of the like ambition of that, because this project has been kind of adopted by an experienced software developer who's going to help us refactor a lot of the underlying code to make it easier to build off of in the future. So we're gonna try to get something out that is sort of usable by the general population soon-ish, so that we can start working on like gutting the whole thing and rebuilding it in a way that can grow better in the future. We'll be finalizing a roadmap next week, I guess. I don't know, I wrote that on there, so I guess we'll see. Anyways, thank you, you're lovely. Mwah. All the best. I think I'll close you and then close you. Bye. Oh yeah, and do that. Do the thing he said. All right. Bye. Oh goodness. Squeaked it in there, Albert. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Okay. Now we see. It's always, man. Anytime you push record, no matter what you're doing. If you're doing something that has a record button, when you push that button, all sanity goes out the window. Okay. Let's see here, buddy. You can do it. I believe in you. It was a group effort, and we all did a spectacular job. That's smart. Problem is then you'll just have like 10,000 practice runs. You'll be like, wow. The actual solution is to like... The actual solution is just like lower your barriers. Like, you know, the best predictor of success is N. So just like lower your standards and like produce more stuff. That's the solution. Because like I think a lot of us, especially in the sort of, hey, how we doing over here? Yeah, practice 1, JK rolling. Yeah. Hey, Basti. So I've been doing like dev updates, like weekly dev updates, and just like posting them like Twitter and YouTube. But this one is a little special because we're gonna try to like do like a motion capture reconstruction of the recording. There you go. That's what this was the thing that didn't happen last time, and I think that the fact that this exists means that the rest of it should just work. I'm hopeful. It did a thing. Because the thing that it was complaining about last time was it needs to have like so if you have 3 cameras and you have like 1, 2, and 3, it needs to have frames where both 1 and 2 have like can see the board together, and both 2 and 3 can see the board together. And then I think also 1 and 3 can see the board together, but it might actually not need all those. I don't know. But for some reason one of the cameras didn't detect it at all. Probably because it's getting a lot of glare from that window, so I think that was probably the reason. But you know. Wait, how do I do this? Haha. Ha ha ha. Haha. Look at that guy. Isn't that great? You too can have skull emoji response reply thing. I mean, it's a little bit of both. I'm sort of like a functionalist. My apartment, my internal decor style has been described as mad scientist like. Which, like, you know, I'm not mad. I'm a little mad, but like generally good natured, I think. Good natured scientist. I'm mad at like institutions, not people. There's a couple people. Ooh. Do I have like infinite points? No, I don't have infinite points. I can't do that myself. How do I do that? Oh. Yeah. It was a compliment. It was just kind of like funny. Someone like was checking out the cats. How do you do that, Albert? Like, in Mycon, like, I click on the thing, send a message. Oh, there it is. Haha. Nice. Copy filters. I think I want to do noise suppression. Is that right? Okay, so I'm turning my AC back on. There, but I think if I click on this, oh. Done? Is that better? It's better? Awesome. Gotta love that audio filter. Oh, awesome. Okay. Thank you for the assistance on that. Basti B, I did see your message. Let me read that in a second. Oh. Yeah. If my voice becomes a problem in general, just let me know. I think it's probably a good trade-off, especially when the AC is on. I should just remember that that's on. Okay, Basti, let's see here. Basti asks, started using a few weeks ago, haven't kept updates. Does it work with one camera, and would it be an improvement over just OpenPose? So we are thinking about setting up like a single camera mode to work with just one camera, but it won't give you a 3D estimate. The single camera mode would just be kind of like a wrapper for people that like to make it kind of easier to like process stuff from a single camera. But for the way that we're doing 3D reconstruction, it requires multiple views to do the 3D reconstruction. MediaPipe does sort of give you like 3D estimates from a single camera, but they're not very accurate. So in short, and also like we're not doing anything fancy like we're literally just porting straight through from OpenPose into the 3D reconstruction, into any poses reconstruction, and then that's kind of what you get. So we're not actually building any of the underlying machine learning algorithms that are behind the markerless mocap. We're kind of just like providing a user interface and a framework to take advantage of the things that other sort of like, sort of like high level comp sci researchers are developing in the space of markerless motion capture, and kind of just like wrapping everything up into something that hopefully can be like used by other people. Yeah, so that's exactly the hope, is to make, because like like all of these systems like OpenPose and like honestly even MediaPipe, like they're not made to be usable by general public. They're made to be usable. They're not even made to be usable by programmers. It's just like programmers can use them. So the goal here is to make something that like like a normal-ish person can use without requiring like a master's degree in computer science. See some other questions. Micon, big mirror. It should it should be doable. I've always wanted. I haven't like gotten around to like trying the mirror method, but like I think. Thanks, Basti. I'm glad you're into it. It's coming. It's going well. It's it's a lot of work, but it's making progress. And honestly, like this time next year, I think this is going to be a pretty like. Like I think like within a year I think we'll have like a real-time reconstruction thing, so I could be sitting here looking at myself, but we'll see. Yeah, Micon, you like it should be a matter of like if you had a mirror in the scene and you could cut out like the image, that section of the image where the mirror is, and then just say this is another camera, like it should work. I just haven't ever gotten around to doing it. Because it's just like I have enough problems in my life. It depends, right? Because again, a big part of this project is like trying to like absorb a bunch of different markerless mocap methods, and there are many methods out there that are not particularly heavy computation. OpenPose is super heavy computationally, but it's like OpenPose is like high accuracy, low speed. MediaPipe is a little more balanced, but even MediaPipe has sort of like like a lot of the comp sci, because OpenPose at this point is like relatively old. Like it's from 2017, and this field has been moving real fast. And a lot of like the tech industry folks have been building like super lightweight tracking methods that are not nearly as accurate, but are much faster. So part of the plan, especially moving into like real time, is to make it set up so that you can kind of like, depending on your computer, you can kind of pick the algorithm that you think you can handle, and then run that in real time, and then ideally also like have the video saved, so that if you wanted to like do a later, slower, like higher accuracy reconstruction, you could do that. That's the thought. MediaPipe is a framework. The specific pose algorithm, I think, is Blaze or Thunder. That sounds about right, Albert. Yeah, Sotomonte, thank you. So I've been like I said, so like an experienced software developer with like a couple decades of experience reached out to me and was like, hey, I saw this project, I think it's super cool, I want to help out. And so I've had a couple meetings with him, and he's given some good advice on like, honestly, some not even like crazy changes under the hood, but some changes that would basically make it would make it faster, sort of easier to test and debug, and also like the framework, like the current framework could never be real time because everything is staged, like record, then process, then blah, blah, blah. So, but the way he's talking about sort of the way we're going to be refactoring it, it still won't be real time on the short term, but it's the right architecture to be real time in the future. Yeah, Yeah, Basti, it's we'll see. Okay, cool. We're running OpenPose now. Eee, look at me go. That's me. um, the nice thing about MediaPipe is that it's a Google product, so it's clean. It's a pretty easy install. So, and they have their like solutions that's kind of like combine stuff together. Um, and it's actually been the easy. It's way easier to work with than OpenPose, and way easier to work with than Deep Lab Cut. Um, but so I actually think that MediaPipe is a good solution here. But again, there's so many. There's like a bunch of other options out there. A lot of times the bottleneck is like how much work did the developers put into making the software actually usable, um, and also like what the license is. Because like OpenPose, for example, has a weird license where it's free for for it's free for what's the word non-commercial and academic use. But if you want to use it for anything, oh, thank you, Setamonte. I'll be back. They want it's like a $25,000 license to use OpenPose for commercial use. So like if you're a video game developer, like so part of the like, if you're like some of the people that are interested in this are like video game designers and animators. So if they want to like put this in a game and then sell it, that's $25,000. So it's like, which is kind of like. Anyways, but MediaPipe is Apache 2, which is a sort of nice, friendly open source license. Right, yeah. Is Theia 3D really that expensive? I guess that's Qualisys's thing, right? Qualisys. I have a Qualisys system and it's very accurate for what it is, but like it feels like I'm using like an incredible piece of high technology in the 90s. Like it doesn't feel like modern technology to me. It feels like top of the line, like cutting edge tech from like 10 to 20 years ago. And also like the price tag is ridiculous. Sotomonte, how important is it that all the cameras are the same? I haven't really tested that. However, my suspicion is that it will be okay with like a variety of cameras. The main determiner here, there is that is actually kind of the frame rate, because the expectation for the 3D reconstruction is that, say you record like 100 frames from each camera, those get shuffled around so that like and synchronized so that like frame one is this, frame one, frame two, frame three, frame four are like the same time period for camera 1, 2, for all the different cameras. So that way, if you take camera 5 from cameras 0, 2, and 3 or whatever, that those are happening at like the same time. So you can do the geometric reconstruction based off of that. So with all that said, I think if the different cameras had different like fields of view and focal lengths, that should be okay. But if they have different frame rates, then that would be a problem, because you'd be constrained by like, I don't know, like, so if you have 3 cameras running at 30 hertz and you have 1 camera running at like 120 hertz, you're still only going to be able to reconstruct 30 hertz. If you have 3 cameras running at 120 hertz and 1 camera running at 30 hertz, then 1 in 4 of the frames will have an extra camera to work with. I actually think currently that's not how our synchronization code. I think that would just cause like serious problems. But like that's kind of the idea. Like multiple cameras should work, but for now it would be best if it's like all the same frame rate. But I think it's okay if they're different focal lengths and whatnot. And I could actually see that being something that's kind of like a very useful thing in the future. For example, you could have, cheap cameras that cover a large area, and then like higher quality cameras that are like focused on the person's face or hands or something like that. And it would be really, really great if something like that was supported. So that way you could have like, Basti, yes, that is a yes, you are. it's a data stream issue, right? Like if you're, because like ultimately like this is you're reconstructing an event that is gone. It's gone in the past, and you have to do so. You're reconstructing like a spatio-temporal event, and so you have multiple data streams that are recording samples, of different times, and then trying to use, different viewpoints to reconstruct 3D. But if you're like, but to like reconstruct the position of like a point in 3D from multiple vantage points, each of those images has to have been taken at the same time. Because otherwise, if this thing is moving, camera 1 is going to be reconstructing it here, camera 2 is going to be reconstructing it there, and so the 3D reconstruction won't be accurate. So you got to synchronize things in time, so temporal synchronization, and then you have to calibrate things in space, meaning you have to know where they are in space. So that is a spatio-temporal calibration. It's a whole vibe. So let's see here. So we're running through. The current sync strategy is fairly sophisticated. The one that I'm using here, I'm not using an analog signal. It's not so currently we're pulling frames. So each camera is put into its own thread, its own like CPU thread, and then you open a video capture instance between your computer and the camera, and you pull frames from the camera as fast as the camera will give you frames. Actually, we set the frame rate. And then the way it works is every time you pull a frame, you also record a timestamp. And as long as all the different threads are querying the same clock, you can use those timestamps to sort of synchronize the threads after the fact. That's like, in this staged pipeline, that's like stage 2. You could also, so like Albert has his FLIR cameras. Those will allow you to do like a timing pulse, I think it's like TTL pulse. Oh, does it indeed sound similar to that? That's the lab streaming layer. Is that a MATLAB thing? Ah. Yeah. I'm curious what they're doing for the devices. Are these like standard stuff? Yeah, these are standard stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's a common problem. It's a very standard like thing. Like if you are recording from multiple devices, um, oh, nice. What kind of eye tracking do you use? I'm a Pupil Labs guy personally. Um, See if I can pull up. No. It's fine. Hey, where are you going? Come on. Rocks. Oh, let's close him. Maybe have one of these things easier on hand. New skeleton, chips. I think it was like, that's what I want. Yeah, there you go. This is People Labs. People Labs is great. This stuff will eventually support People Labs. I just haven't gotten around to it yet because, so if you look at this guy here, this is an IMU-based motion capture system, like a wearable suit kind of thing, like similar to Rococo, but not the same. And you can see this is data from Pupil Labs, and then the skeleton, like the gaze has, the lasers are coming out of the skeleton's face. This is my laser skeleton friend. And eventually I'm going to attach an eye tracker to like the juggling stuff. and like have gaze lasers coming out of the skeleton's face there too. But I haven't been focusing on that because it's like not worth. It feels like it's not worth the effort to do that until the skeleton reconstruction is like more mature. Um, so yes, Mycon, that's correct. It's like there's so many like automatic puns that happen in my life because like yeah, actually I haven't made like the people's connection in my head. You know, I'm not saying, I won't say I've never had that thought, but I feel like it's been a long time. So thank you for the reminder that that joke exists. Um, Tuesday, Gloomsday. Um, God, I wish I had, where do I have? It's interesting to think about that kind of question, Tuesday. Um, And certainly, so you, if I recall correctly, are an experienced juggler, like like you know what you're doing, and so it's possible. I don't necessarily know that I agree with you that you don't look at the balls, because having done this experiment, and like looking at the data from the eye tracker, I personally walk across these rocks having studied the eye movements that I make when walking across these rocks, and I cannot feel myself moving my eyes like that. It's very much below the level of consciousness for a lot of the time. But so I would guess that for like, yeah, so I think that experienced jugglers are probably able to juggle without making eye movements, but I think that uh, see, there you go. Gnarly Will and Basti, I'll get to you in a second. I personally I can't juggle blindfolded. I've tried. So I can like fixate. I can pick a point on the wall and juggle okay, as long as the balls are coming into my field of view. But if I close my eyes, they're gone. I can't do it at all. So it would be really interesting. So what you can imagine is kind of like the learning process of juggling. Like as you get better and better at juggling, presumably you get like, reliable enough that you can you don't need the visual information. Um, yeah, it's kind of just like your throws just get consistent enough. Like I think my throws are not consistent enough to do it with my eyes closed. Oh, hey, Tropical Geek. Good seeing you here. Welcome back. Um, Gnarly Will, that's interesting. That's interesting. I haven't worked with Vicon in a while. I'm working with Qualisys now in my lab, but it makes sense that it would be kind of like an annoying post-process thing. Well, if this stuff ever gets working with eye tracking, it'll have hands and all that too. So like, Bossy, that's cool. MediaPipe has like eye tracking stuff in it. I don't think it's quite to the level that I would want it to be for like I don't think it's gonna like replace my eye tracker, but like I think it could do something of like what part of the screen are you looking at. I've never played with OptiTrack, but that's interesting. I'm happy to know that the LSL, that's something I should look into. Because I always wind up like doing that stuff on my own, or more realistically, asking Aaron to do it for me. Um, but oh, thanks, Tropical Geek. Um, yeah, Mycon, it's really interesting. Like the like so I am now like I've been studying like visual neuroscience and eye tracking and natural behavior for many years now, and it's really interesting the kind of like the space between our like intuitive sense of our like visual experience and what I now know is like the actual raw information coming in. Like we have this perspective of living in a world that's like fully featured and highly detailed and color and all that kind of stuff, and we feel like we have that information in like this 360-degree panorama, not 360, but like, you know, pretty big panorama. Um, but I know that that's not true. Like our eyes do not have high acuity across the board. Like you have like a pretty narrow window of high acuity, and that feeling that we have of living in a highly sort of high resolution, colorful, three-dimensional space is based off of how quickly and accurately we can move our eyes. What resolutions do the eye have? Gnarly whale. The question of what resolution do our eyes have is a very difficult to answer one. Yeah, you have the blind spot where like the where like the optic nerve punches through. I'm like trying to put my thumb in my blind spot so it'll disappear. It's right around there for me with that eye. The resolution is not uniform. So let's see here. Photoreceptor density. Classical images, like, so like for the most part, like your sense of visual acuity, like how your resolution of your eye is what you think about that in terms of it's not so much that it's an illusion, it's just that it's a reconstruction. Well, it's kind of an illusion. It's an illusion. And specifically it's like, and yeah, like it's like your body, your perceptual experience is not the same thing as like the underlying mechanics. Like, but so to answer the question about the resolution, mostly when you think of like your acuity, you're thinking about like how well you can see in bright light conditions. That's mostly going to be your cones as opposed to like your rods. So this red line here, oh come on, that's the density of your cones in your eye. So you can see it's super peaky like that. So that this little region here is about like, you know, it's about the size of like maybe, it's about the size of your thumb, like the tip of your thumb at arm's length. That's where this spike exists, and everything in the periphery is like a super low, like much less acuity there. It's not your eye vibrates, you move your eyes. Like we are primates, like we are haplorine primates, and our visual cortex is based on our ability to move our eyes a lot and very accurately. So you build an image from more data than just a snapshot of the pixel. I think that's more like it. It's like you kind of like, I'm looking here, and then like if anything happens over here that I care about, I just move my eyes and get a high resolution image from that. Yes, Tropical Geek, that is correct. And the rods are basically what defines it. It's complicated because like they're sort of like defining how your motion perception works. It's also kind of like related to like dark vision, but like it's complicated. Vision's really complicated, and your eyes are not cameras. That's kind of the main thing that's hard to like really wrap our head around. Is like cameras. This thing is a tool for yeah, close enough. like a camera is a device that measures light and produces images from light. Our eyes also detect light, but that's really where the analogy ends. Like there's no frame rate. It doesn't really make sense to talk about like resolution. And there's processing. Like your retina, like this, there's like a lot of like neural processing happening on your eye. Like it has been like your retina has been described as a what's it called? An extruded piece of brain is what what's his name? Who said that? Some neuroscientist said that because like it's like the image processing has happened on your eyes before the signal even leaves like your there's also a yeah. Yeah, Micon is sort of let's see, where's the famous picture there? What's his name? Yarbus. This is an old school picture of like one of the first pictures from an eye tracker of someone looking at this, and this is the path that the eyes make. It's like a constant scan path. Um, yeah. That's it's called that's neural adaptation basically. Like the photoreceptors get bored, they get adapted, so you have to move your eyes. And it used to be so. What you're saying is actually kind of like about like maybe 5 to 10 years out of date from what like the current thought is, because it used to be that they thought that like when you fixate something, your eyes make like movements that are like random, like jitter noise. But it has now actually been shown that those eye movements are actually not random. It actually they're somewhat task driven. So what's the guy's name? Michela Rucci. Microsaccades. Um, oh, nice. Receptive field research. That's cool. Yeah, I'm really looking forward. I'm really excited about getting to a place. Um, yeah, this guy, so Michela Rucci and Martina Paletti, they do microscopy research. They're looking at like eye movements on the scale of arc minutes, where an arc minute is like, so this is like your thumb is like roughly like a visual degree across, and an arc minute is 60. You can fit 60 of those. So like your thumb is like 60 arc minutes across at arm's length, and they're studying eye movements at the order of like 5 to 10 arc minutes, and like that's the level that used to be thought of as noise, but also we also didn't have the ability to measure things at that level. So now that we're getting more and more precise measurements, and they're being very clever with the experiments they're running, they're finding that actually those eye movements they're task driven. They're not random. It's wild. Um, Eyes are crazy. I'm really excited. It's gonna be a second, but I'm really excited to get to a place where I can put, like, where this free mocap stuff has like eye tracking in it. That's very important for my research program, because I'm mostly a vision scientist. That's where my funding comes from. So I need to get like that's an important sort of progression of this thing. But it's interesting because it doesn't really serve most of the users, because most of the people who are using this aren't needing eye tracking. So I want to make sure that I get like the basic functionality of the motion capture system working before I focus too much on the eye tracking. Because also it doesn't really make sense to focus much on the eye tracking when if the head is like still like not trackable. I go to VSS. I haven't been to Arvo before, but I go to VSS every year since not counting COVID, every year since like 2008. Yeah, it's great. Do you go to? Are you an Arvo person, or is that your past? Is that no longer how you live your life? My understanding is Arvo is kind of like the ophthalmology folks. You were an Arvo, back when you were doing receptive field research. Cool. Yeah, evolution, I evolution. Let me see that. So, I evolution Gabriel. Good question. A good question about the blink. We have a lot of our. What am I doing here? Uh, Catchy title. There's a lot of our nervous system. It's interesting to think about the parts of our nervous system that are and are not under conscious control. And my favorite example of that is breathing. Like, breathing is not something you have to think about doing. It happens like automatically, but you that's funny. But you can hold your breath. You can breathe faster. You can breathe slower. So it is an autonomic process, but you do have some control over it. But you can't hold your breath until you die. Eventually, your autonomic nervous system will like countervene your. Sorry, Sotomonte. Good luck. Right. Yeah. So like, and I think like blinking and eye movements are kind of in that same class of things that 99% of the time in your daily life, Manes. Thanks for joining, Manes. I don't want to count to 4 billion on my fingers. 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion. But yeah, I think of eye movements and eye movements and blinking is sort of like in that same space of like things that normally are being just driven by under the hood, sort of like automatic, whatever that means, controllers. But then you can also like supervene over those and like exhibit some sort of conscious control. But it's hard. It takes practice, actually. Oh, like that's cool. I've seen sort of stuff to that effect. The binary counting. It's interesting, Micon. It's a cool idea. Have you ever heard of Later, Aaron. Thanks for sticking around. um, there's a. Excuse me a second, I'm cough. I feel like I have better things to do than count to 2 billion, but I'm glad to know that's an option. I think this is the last video too that's processing here. So, oh, is it? Nope. Nah. I think this is the second video, so there's still one more after this. OpenPose is so slow. But after this is done, it should process kind of quickly. We'll see. Yeah, Micon, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now in like the camera world. There's like single pixel cameras is one where it's like just like literally a single light pixel like light detector. Oh, Magician Gur. It's real enough to feel real. So everything else is just kind of semantic. It's legally binding. But yeah, single pixel camera is like a single photo detector and then like a micro mirror, so that you can basically like reflect light from multiple places onto the same pixel. So you can have like one super high acuity, basically analog detector, and then control the light that comes into it with the mirror, and then get like like it's a very different kind of space than like the kind of cameras that we're used to here. There's also event-based cameras, which are another crazy thing. Like instead of being like taking frames, like so right now this camera's taking like frames, like slices in time. Yeah, kind of like that. Kind of like a scanning thing. What am I saying? So event-based cameras. Oh, there's a really cool picture that video came out about that. Event-based camera. If we can find it. Yeah, event-based cameras are super push. So the idea behind an event camera, there's cool animations for that. Is that like, so this camera's pulling like, it's taking pixel images, 30 times per second, which is super wasteful because most of these pixels aren't changing. Like the background isn't changing, so like it's wasting bandwidth to like take a measurement from there, 30 times a second. So event-based cameras are designed to like only detect changes. So you get like different kinds. Yeah, so there you go. So like you don't get like an image per se, but you get like an almost continuous measurement of like things that have changed. So this little animation is showing like the top row is showing like a standard camera that's taking frames, that is sort of where like it's limited by the frame rate, whereas the thing on the bottom is showing like whatever DVS is, like, so it's their personal algorithm for event-based cameras. Um, so it's cool to see people kind of like, it's unclear like what the actual practical applications for that will be. Yeah, so this is an event-based camera. Um, it's kind of like it's, you can think of it as just like a motion detector, and if you do that, you can have like, they're talking into like the kilohertz of like frame. It's not frame rate. It's like some other thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's kind of, it's the same kind of idea as that of like, don't don't bother recording pixels that didn't change. It's just kind of like it's sort of something. So like watch this. So Sotomate, like if you watch this one, like when the car starts moving, all of a sudden you get image on the camera. So like it's you know, every movement that can be detected shows up as like as a pixel, um, which is again kind of similar to like uh, so like this, you know, this study, which is theoretically coming out soon, is looking at visual motion. So like when like most of the world is static, so if you move, your eye experiences motion because you are moving. The image moves on the back of your eyes, and your brain uses that kind of that visual motion to predict your movement through the 3D scene. Um, so our eyes are actually much more, now that I think about it, our visual system is much more similar to an event-based camera than it is to like a frame-by-frame camera. Because in a lot of ways, like your neurons actually do only respond to changes. They don't, like in the same way that Micon was saying, like if you fixate one place for too long, the image whitens out because not enough has changed, so the neurons adapt. Your photoreceptors are basically neurons. So that's one of the things you hear people say when they talk about event-based cameras is like, oh, these are more biologically plausible. Um, Talking about vision. I really want this thing to be done because I want to watch this video like finished like on stream, and I'm pretty confident now that it will work. I just have to wait for it to finish processing, and I really like, you know, uh, it'll be nice to put. I think OpenPose may still have a place at the table, because I think it is like in many ways like, you know, one of the more accurate ones out there, but I'm looking forward to not having to rely on it for everyday reconstruction, because, you know, it'll just be nice, like, because if this was a media pipe based reconstruction, we would have like, it would have been like done like an hour ago. Um, that's interesting, Micon. It's kind of a let's see, I want texture and yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of like, it's kind of like a recurrent algorithm of like, if you're not um like, if you're displaying something visually and it didn't change, you don't need to update it. Because if you do that, then you can save yourself a lot of energy. Um, BioArchive. Yeah, look at all these guys. Where are you at? Germany? Optic vesicles. Organogenesis using iPSC derived human. Ooh. Human brain? They're growing fucking brain eyes in a vat? That's cool. Formation of permanent bilateral vesicles. What is a vesicle? Oh, okay. So it's like a little fluid-filled sac. So university was about day 30. Ah. Cool. Show me your pictures. Show me some pictures, friendo. Ooh, that's a good picture. It's going. It's going. It's. I think this is the final video. So once this video finishes, the rest of the reconstruction should happen pretty quickly. It has to do the reconstruction of everything, which will take a second, and then it has to produce the video itself, which will also take a second. But I expect to be done. Let me rephrase that. I am going to be done by 6:30. You can take that out of context. um, this kind of biology is actually kind of below my depth. I love it, and I kind of understand it, but I look at it in the same way. I look at this the kind of the same way I look at a lot of. It's 6 o'clock for me, so like within half an hour we should be like I think it'll be done in the next like 15 to 20 minutes is my hope. But yeah, like for me, like this kind of biology is similar to like really hardcore robotics. So it's like I know the people that understand it. I can kind of hang. I can kind of vibe with the abstract, but like, don't ask me to like dive too deep into the methods. Um, yeah, I mean, gnarly will. Like if you're doing like based on my very brief interaction with your lab website, you're probably in a similar kind of like cross-disciplinary space as I am, where it's like have approximate knowledge of many things. That I have approximate knowledge of many things. It's a Adventure Time reference. That guy. Oh, it shows the frame number here. So it's frame 1400. I think it was 2000 out of 2000. So the final video. Actually, that would be nice. Can I do that? I don't think you can read it. It has to be mini. Also, I don't know if it's legal. uh Come on, buddy. It's also funny because like the face mesh on this never can handle my beard. It's like the chin is always like, where do I finish? Where do I stop drawing this beard? So it struggles. It's fine. The media pipe face it's like interesting because like it's like what am I saying? The media pipe face is better in some ways and worse in others. Like it's more reliable, I guess. Like it will because it detects a face mesh, so like the entire mesh is always in the scene. But it also conforms to your face less. So like if you like open your mouth, that's the whole point of a beard, right? uh So, let's see what else? I'll show you guys the video I was working on earlier today. Where are we at? Where are we at? This is what we're moving towards. Works pretty well. Actually looking pretty dang good, I gotta say. I haven't had a chance to look at this very closely, but like, because I made this like literally was finished like you know, less than an hour before I started the stream, because I really wanted to get this to the point where like the animator was working. It's also now, I think, smart enough to figure out, to detect the number of cameras and like build this representation like semi-intelligently. Because that was an issue with a lot of the previous recordings, since it was just like one camera, or you'd have to like kind of hard code the arrangement of who's it's. I'm running out of steam. We're almost done. Like, but like, it's gonna finish this, and then it's gonna take kind of a long time to process the 3D, but not that long, and then kind of actually a long time to produce the video. But I think it's worth waiting. Thank you all for sticking around. Oh, geez. Just got a sad message. That's a bummer. Not for me personally, but like a friend of mine just sent me something that's like a bummer in their life, which is indirectly a bummer in my life. I am using FFmpeg for the video indirectly. So I'm using matplotlib for the video, but I'm building it on the basis of a like a matplotlib like animation object, and then I'm using like the writing method of the animation object to create the final video. And I'm using specifically done open posing. And more hidden. Why is it more hidden? This is weird to me. I think it's gonna. So even if it fails at this point, I can restart it from this point. So, I don't know why it says more hidden. That's a little troubling. I think this is because I was not scrolled down there when it didn't like it didn't like initialize the thing. But let's see. Yeah, we're still working. Yeah, we're still working here. Okay, yeah, oh, sick. Cool. So we're saving the video right now. And to answer your question, Mike Khan, I am using the FFmpeg version of the FFmpeg option, I guess, for the matplotlib video writer. And it works well. I can't remember why I picked it, but I realized that it requires you to have FFmpeg installed, which means it makes if I wanted to include this in the package, it just makes it that much more sort of like dependency hellish. So I might switch away from it, but I do really like FFmpeg. I've been using it for a long time. But yeah, this is gonna... I don't know how long this takes. I don't know how... It just says saving video. I wish it gave me more of like a progress bar. But it doesn't. I might be able to figure that out later, but for now, it just says I'm working on it. And it works on it for a period of time, which is statistically correlated with the length of the video. So that's all I know. And this was a relative... This is actually, come think of it, I think this is the longest... is that true? This is close to the longest video I've ever like fully reconstructed. I don't know if that's true. I think I may have actually made a different one with someone else. But it's certainly this is definitely the longest video I've reconstructed, like at home. I think that's true, because I did like a test in the lab that I think wound up being pretty long. But I also don't know if we fully. I don't know. Anyway, this is a long video for me. Usually I record much shorter stuff. So this is exciting. Also, I usually don't sit here and watch it. um, so this is, and it's also like it's been a long day. I've been up for 12 hours now. I woke up around like 6 and like just started coding because I wanted this to work today, which is great. But it also means that like I am tired, and like when this finishes, I'm done for the day. So it's like, so this is very much like a watching paint dry, like watching water boil situation for me. Um, but also it's fun. I do enjoy talking to y'all on stream. That is fun. And I say this a lot, but it's worth saying again. I really appreciate them y'all that like come here on the reg and watch the progress. Um, yeah, it's that's real. Uh, I'm excited. I think like again like I think by this time next year, it will be set up in such a way that it does a um, like a sloppy real time reconstruction, and then you finish it, and it's like, would you like to reprocess this with a higher quality? And I think that's the right move, because that way you like the sloppy reconstruction can first of all be used for like your VR and all that kind of stuff. Um, Sodamonte, same. um, but then you kind of like then you push go and you wait and you come back because like you know you come back in an hour or two or 12 and then we have better quality video. And I think you know it's like you just need to like know the right tool for the job. But yeah, the new refactor is going to have, instead of being like a staged pipeline where it's like record the videos, process the videos, reconstruct the videos, like bop bop bop, it's going to be more of like a buffer type system where like the videos like this the video streams like feed into like a buffer, and then you kind of like pop sort of image like image tuples, I guess, off the end, and can process that. So it'll be like, even if you're using like an open posting, it would be like it would just be laggy, um, but it would get all the same videos because it wouldn't be constrained. Yeah, exactly, Sotomonte. Not a bad idea. That's like kind of the cool thing about having these streams is like it is a it's like a little like journal, like the dev updates, like, and this is why I'm super excited, because if this works, like I don't think I like if I'll do this next time too, but I probably won't like watch it reconstruct. I'll just reconstruct it later. But if I can make it that the weekly dev updates are mocapped with this system, then those dev updates will just be like a representation of like the progress that's made, um, which I think would be pretty fun. Oh, Asher guy, you're a new person. FPGAs. What does FPGA stand for? FPGA. Ah, Field Programmable Gate Array. I don't. That doesn't sound right. Is that right? Is that like dedicated hardware? Like, is that what that is? Um, 'Cause I'll talk about the first half of your statement. I very much am planning to use this stuff to like sell a grant committee on giving me some sort of funding. Um, that's definitely part of the plan, and also like hopefully again this time next year, this will be like legitimately funded as opposed to like kind of funded right now. Like right now it's like kind of like. Um, but I think like in the fullness of time, yeah, like dedicated hardware, like you could do a lot in this space. But for now, I'm really focusing on cheap, like accessible. I'm really trying to focus like this entire phase of the research process is really focused on accessibility, because I just want to get this in as many hands as possible. And I'm trying to do that in a way that that matches my research aspirations, but I don't want to do the ivory tower thing where I just use, you know, all of this like education. Yeah, this is one of those things. It's like this is technically in scope of my last grant. Like this counts kind of. Um, Ooh, that's cool. So you're basically so an FPGA would be kind of like dedicated hardware, like a piece of hardware designed for this purpose and this purpose only. Uh, that would be super cool. And I think if you were doing if you built hardware for this task, I think you could do some really amazing stuff. But again, like I'm kind of focusing here on like I want to make free cheap motion capture for everybody. And you know, once that's got legs and there is a version of this that people can use, then I can kind of branch out into broader spaces and talk about dedicated hardware, this and that and the other. Um, but like, I don't know, it's sort of it's a moral thing. All right, are we still doing this? Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Blech. Please finish. There's a lot of things calling my GPU right now. Uh, like it's like Streamlabs is pulling from GPU. Visual Studio is pulling from GPU. You got to be almost done, aren't you? I promised Sotomonte I'd be done in 5 minutes. No touching. Um, I mean, I could keyboard interrupt this, but at this point, it's fairly stable, I think. But it's a really interesting space to be doing like high tech research. Um, because like there is that kind of like you're working. It's kind of a trade off, right? Because like on the one hand, you got to get the work done, but on the other hand, you can see that the equipment you're using is like obsolete-ish. Um, like, and I am personally like I use like Qualis's traditional motion capture, and like realistically, like this stuff and like Deep Lab Cut, and this is basically Deep Lab Cut. Like the one up here is using Deep Lab Cut for the tracking the juggling balls. Um, it's not really commensurate with what you get out of Qualisys or Vicon. Like the traditional motion capture, like the six-figure, like $250,000 systems, like they produce like insanely accurate data. And so the trick, and the trick that I try to work with is while I'm developing this new version of the thing, I'm working on stuff. I'm using the new stuff to do tasks that the old system is not suited for. And then meanwhile, I'm using the old system to do stuff that the new system isn't really. It's like the old system is more accurate, more precise, and real time. And so I use that system for that purpose. This new system is markerless, so it's deployable and anyone can have it, and there's very little setup. So I'm like developing projects. I have multiple research streams going, and each of those streams is trying to sort of like use the available tools for the strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. Um, yeah, I agree with that really well. Like, it's interesting because like I remember there was like there's like a study that of people who like used were verifying they were like comparing data from a Wii balance board, like $100 Wii balance board, to like a $10,000 force plate, and they did like a validation study, and the answer is like it's pretty good. It's not as good, but it's pretty good. And so like like is it worth spending like what is that, 2 extra zeros of equipment to get 2 extra zeros of precision? And the answer is it depends. Depends what you're working on. And I kind of expect that this system is going to be one of those. Hey, what do you know? I actually think People Labs gets better tracking data than even like eye tracking is weird. Mostly, I think with People Labs, you're paying for the user interface. So I'm actually going to close this because I don't need it because I have this. Yeah. Woo! We did it. How do I do that? Where do I make the guy? Doo doo. Da 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 da. Yay! It looks pretty good. The hand track is kind of silly. It doesn't really need to be there, but I was gonna do like this. Yeah, this is more sophisticated than the last one. Like this has a little bit of the data has been smoothed, and I think there's a little bit of I think it's mostly just the smoothing, and I think I'm a little bit more careful with like the reconstruction. Oh man, that's so cool. That's so cool. Look at that. Uh, I think so. Now I gotta just like synchronize it with the actual recording and just like I'll pop that out as a reconstruction. It looks good though. Look at that. Yeah. Thanks, Sotomonte. No, it doesn't like that. The spastic spider on my cranium. I don't know, man. Does an okay job. It's also like like it's only getting 3 cameras from the front. So like if I do a side view, that's why like this side of my face is always kind of like warbly, because like I'm like often hiding that side. But again, like this is like these is three $20 webcams and some free software. So given that, I think it looks pretty dang good. Watching this a bit. Oh, and there's some other things I can do that will really improve this track. I think you'll like that, Mycon. There's like some settings, there's some options in AnyPose to basically do. I just want a paycheck. I don't want to get rich. I just like I want to keep giving this away for free, and then just get like so administratively. Thanks, Evan. I'm over here on the multi-stream. It's pretty great. I'm pretty happy with it. But my business model so going forward is I'm gonna be forming a nonprofit like pretty soon called the Free MoCap Foundation, which will be like a 501c3 nonprofit, uh, sort of whatever, um, and trying to get funding through that to support this software, which is a common route for a lot of open source developers. So I have like a professor job, and I'm gonna keep that, and they're happy for me to be forming like nonprofits. But the plan is to kind of try to use just like keep developing sets like an open source, a free open source like scientific software, and then also do research and then get funding support from that. And then that will allow me to get paid for this while still keeping it free, through grants. And I think this is fundable by a lot of different sources like NSF, NIH, A lot of foundations, Chan Zuckerberg. There's a lot of software foundations. Um, so that's kind of the administrative plan going forward. Um, but yeah, this looks great. I'm stoked. I meant to do something because like the hand line graphs are kind of not they're not really doing all that much. So I was gonna do something of like move my right hand horizontal and then vertical so you can see it moving in the line graph, but I forgot to do that. Next week. Yeah, exactly. Good for taxes. uh, and also like if you're a nonprofit, it opens you up to a lot of there's a lot of funding sources that are only for nonprofit. It's hard. It's hard really well. Like I'm like yeah, and I'm definitely Epic Mega Grant is absolutely on the horizon. Um, I plan to apply for one of those probably within the next 6 months or so. Like I think that's a really good mechanism. Some I forget who it was. Was it you or was it not a someone? I learned about that from Twitch. Someone was like, "You should apply for one of those." I was like, "Oh shit, you're right." And I think this would be a really great mechanism for them. Um, Someone mentioned I wish I remembered who because that's I think I am going to apply for one of those. Um, but I want to learn a little more about it. So I because like right now it's like you can you yeah I think it was not a um but it's the kind of thing like grant writing is an interesting thing. Like I write grants. I'm like I have grants like but it's an interesting kind of game because on the one hand you want to be applying for grants. Oh, it's Glitch Robot may have been. Yeah. He made like a Plotly visualizer for this, but then like I don't know, like it's a lot of work to make these things. But yeah, so like when you're applying for grants, you kind of like you want to apply for a lot of grants, but at the same time you also got to do work. So like it's an interesting kind of like timing game to figure out when do you put down like the work to apply for the grant. And so for me, I'm I think I'll be in a position to apply for a mega grant within the next couple of months. And so but I wanted to get this to like a little bit more of a usable state before I do that because I think because the farther along it is, the more likely it is to get funded. It's like one of these like weird things. Also, I need to find somebody. I need to talk to somebody at Epic just to get a little more of like an inside. I need like hey like what's the deal with this? Like I want to ask for like a lot of money. So like like tell me about like the inner workings of this because like this is it's like we fund people from 5,000 to $5 million. It's like okay, there's a pretty big range there. um, so okay. Anyways, I'm stoked about this. This looks great. What a country. I'm really looking forward to like posting this as a dev update. Uh, And now I'm tired. Sotomonte is also tired, and everyone deserves a break. I'm gonna raid y'all over to someone, I guess. Who's anyone have someone that should be rated? Thank you. Eventually, eventually, hiring is a complicated thing because people are expensive, especially if you pay them what they're worth. So right now I'm kind of funded in like a standard academic lab. I have like myself, a postdoc, a yeah, I didn't actually do that at all, did I? Um, join the Discord. I'll let you know. Don't hold your breath, but I'll let you know. um, ooh, okay. See if I know anybody up there. Um, EJSA, EJSA, EJSA. Oh, is this the person? Oh, this is the person. Sure, I'll send you all over there. Alrighty. Slash raid. EJSA. Alrighty, y'all. It's been real. Have a lovely time. I thank you. Mwah. Uh, I may or may not be here next week. I think I might ask my postdoc to do something instead of me. Because I'm going to be out of town, and then that's the last week before classes, so we'll see. I might just stream on Wednesday or something like that. I don't know. We'll find out. Um, Catch y'all later. Have a lovely day. And I think that's that.
Welcome, free mocap raiders. What was free mocap up to? Were they doing motion capture? What if they're staying the same? What's up, boss? How are you? Truck. Yeah, it's a free open source motion capture project. Dude, cool. That's awesome. That's cool, my friend. Now I want to talk with free mocap. Free mocap, you here? Could you
Yo.
switch to an ablator? Maybe develop a spray-on one? That doesn't really jive with how they would want to go about space flight. Reusable as an airplane. Doing that doesn't really tally up like that. Look up. How are you? Thank you for the rain. What were you? You working on GitHub.com free mocap? Is that a link to the motion capture player on Git? Still free out. That's cool, man. Yeah, predominantly put the link in. Right on. That's awesome. Yeah, it's still in development, but we're getting there. Oh, right on. That's really cool. Very, very cool. So motion capture, guys, is what there's the test tank event. Motion capture, guys, is a type of, it's a way to basically, like you have an actor and you have a bunch of locator points on them, you put a camera at them, and the camera sees the locator points, and you can take them acting in the animations, right, in a mocap studio, and then you combine that to a 3D rig. You ever notice, like, how, like, if you're walking, your character's walking around in GTA, how they're, like, what the watch cycle repeats? That's because they took 4 or 5 steps from one person, and then they just repeat the animation over and over again with the characters walking around. And all that stuff usually can be interpolated from a mocap. It's really cool. Pretty sweet. But this one is it's markerless. Are you a wizard? That's cool. Really cool. Oh. Hey, drummer, can you give free mocap link first? It's free. Mocap free. It's a free mocap for you, Jim. All right, let's see. Let me take a look real quick. We're just going to take a quick detour here. We got to get going. Let's take a look. See what we got. Charlie's giving us something free mocap. Go. You serious? really cool. So, pretty much got this. Is this you? Let's take a look. See what we got. Whoa. Charlie's give this up if we broke out. No. Motor cortex neuron firings up here. That's really sick. Are you serious? Yeah. Boston. Wait, you local? What part of Boston? What part of Boston? I'm inside of 128. What part of Boston? You might live down the street from me. Have you seen this? JP, near the end of the orange line. I'm near Riverside, the green line.
Right on.
That's not, dude, you're just south of me. Small world, am I right? You just woke up. That's cool. Go. Yeah. Yeah, we're really close. That's cool. That's cool, man. Sweet, you serious? Well, hey, thank you for the raid. I do appreciate it. Send a paper plane to message him. Paper plane. In before virtual field trip. Yeah, man, thanks for the interest. So, I'm a 3D artist by trade. So, I worked with mocap rigs, but that was 10 years ago. Well, more than 10 years ago. So yeah, no, I know all about that. You take the mocap data, interpolating mocap data, and then you find it to a 3D rig, and then sometimes you have to get the key out. Trying to get the stuff to mocap. That's how they did it the last time I go. That's that's awesome, man. Thank you. That's really cool. That's really great. You should check that stuff out. And now you're getting Q&A and chat. So, well, when this thing gets more developed, maybe I can hook you up with a rig. You know, I don't know what I would do with a mocap rig, but on the other hand, I don't know what I would do with a 1970 Charger. But do I need one? Or do I want one? Yes. Yes. Been in and out of the stream, not sure if you covered this. I can check those. That's cool. Hey, thanks for the rating. I have talked about the CubeSats, but I haven't talked about it in detail. I haven't seen that Space News report yet. But we're finishing up the Starship report. Either way, thanks for the rating. That was really cool. Let's check out the rest of this tank then. Need one? Do I want one? Yes. Yes. I can become a VTuber? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we could VTube, dudes. That's how I'll probably do that one day just to confuse people. Yeah, no, that's interesting. That's interesting. You've gone and knocked on Boston Dynamics' door? You already confuse a lot of people, so don't charge. So maybe if I VTube drummer, then I won't confuse people? Elon Musk is your persona. Persona. No. Just get a rigged up orbiter as your avatars.